Hello!
Hi.
Welcome to yet another video. Me and Caitlin are a bit bored at work, so thought, fuck it. Let's do a video for YouTube. Why not? Let's go. So obviously where I done the last video was common mistakes when starting. We've just been talking about calories and food and stuff, so thought, why not do a video on calories and food? So I think a lot of people don't get that actually, as far as training goes, if you haven't got your nutrition on point, you're not going to get results. Essentially.
They say nutrition is 80%, training's 20%.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, like, just to break it down easier for people, like, if your goal, whether that is to build muscle, whether that is to lose weight, whatever it is, look how big my hand is, is you want to be consuming enough protein. If you're not consuming enough protein, then like you're going to struggle, and you're probably more likely to go to your sugars, and that's where you'll start tumbling out. Which is why I don't agree with stuff like Slimming World. I don't agree with Weight Watchers. I don't agree with any of that sort of stuff for that reason. So if you're like, I know a lot of people don't like counting calories, right? Like, so what I would say is, if you're not necessarily a calorie counter, at least look at your diet and see what you're eating, because
know that you're getting the right protein.
Yeah,
at least.
At least. So I'd always say to people, so like for example, my maintenance is 3,000 calories currently. So if I just want to, what I would go to as a guide is 30% of what I eat needs to be protein. So that would work out as 900 calories, so 225 grams of protein a day is my breakdown. And then after that, you can just sort of play about with the fats and the carbs, but you definitely want to up your protein levels when you start.
I'd also say don't be scared of carbs.
Yes.
I know a lot of people that go, I can't eat carbs.
No carbs before
March. Carbs are your friends.
Yes. Yeah, see, that's the other thing as well with carbs. I think, as you say, people tend to be scared of them. They're actually your energy.
Yeah. It's your first source of energy. When it comes to training,
Mm.
your body uses the carbs first.
Mm. Yeah. So it's just like, don't be afraid of carbs. Fats as well, like, learn about your fats. Like,
you're allowed to have them.
Yes.
But you need to know in moderation how much you can have.
Yeah. Basically, like, if you're going to sit there and have a dinner and just smother it in cheese, for example, like literally smother it in cheese, then yeah, you're obviously going to be consuming too much fat, and it will just be stored. And the places it will be stored are the places that people hate it being stored, because it surrounds your major organs. So chests, for blokes especially, that's where you get the like the man boobs from, sort of thing. But I think, as I say, really, like, when you start training, you need to get a grasp of what the nutrition is, because that is so important.
And also, when the word sugar comes involved, there's sugar in fruit, there's sugar in carbs, and obviously you've got sugar from like foods that aren't as good.
Yeah.
But so when we say sugar, we're not literally mean cut out sugar, because sugar's in everything.
Yeah.
But you just got to know that you're having the right sugars.
Yeah, like, for example, like a little change. The other thing as well is, like, someone that starts exercising, let's say, in like their 50s and 60s, they're not going to follow a plan similar to what someone is in their 20s and 30s. But you can still help them with, like, sugar swaps, so to speak. Like, in the sense of, if you have a cup of tea with 2 sugars, well, reduce that to a sweetener, maybe like a stevia or something like that. Cut some sugar out that way. Instead of eating 4 or 5 biscuits a night, we'll have 2 biscuits a night. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's that sort of stuff. And as I say, when it comes to your first step in your weight loss journey, on your muscle building journey, whatever the journey is you need to look at your diet first, and don't go with the age old, oh, I need to eat salad, or I need to really deprive myself food wise, because it's a fact.
If you deprive yourself, your body goes into shock.
Yes.
And then you don't lose the weight that you want to lose, because your body's holding on to the fats that it's got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you're not eating right and fueling your body.
Yeah.
So it actually takes longer to see your results.
Yes. 100%.
So if you're doing a 1,200, 400 calorie diet, you would definitely not see results as if you were eating 1,800, 2,000.
Yeah.
This is based on females.
Yeah.
Males will be more.
Well, that's it. So, like, as a common rule of thumb, when I sort of work with my clients, if a male wants to lose weight, I don't like doing anything lower than 2,300 calories. That's probably my minimum for a male. For a female, 1,800. I do not go below 1,800, because anything other than that, then you are going to a deprivation, and with that deprivation, you're only going to be able to do it for a certain period.
Or you'll start binging.
That's it. That will be the end result. The end result will be you will start binging. You'll probably eat more takeaways, and actually, any progress you've made by shocking your body by going that low on a calorie intake, you'll end up undoing it, because you'll just crave the food. You'll just crave quick, satisfying food, and usually with that will come takeaways. That will come sugar.
And then you crash, so your energy levels for the next day won't be as good as they would be if you're fueling with protein, carbs.
Yeah, and especially protein. Like, this is another thing that I think people don't realise. I remember I was definitely one of these people. When I used to do my workouts, I always felt like I had to drink a protein shake the moment I finished a workout. All a protein shake is to help you get to your protein target. So you could have protein with your breakfast, and it's just helping you get to where you want to get to on that day.
You don't necessarily have to have protein shakes if you know you're getting it from your food.
Yeah.
It's there if you know that you can't eat enough protein.
Yeah.
You can either have it as a shake, or you could put it in your yogurt, or whatever you want to do it.
Yeah.
Oats, like you can sprinkle it on top. You don't have to have it though.
Essentially, like, the thing is like, obviously the thing with protein, whey protein, pea protein, all of that stuff is, as I say, it's just to help you get to your target, and that is more likely to be for people like myself who need to eat more calories to be in a maintenance. I think that's the other thing as well. People don't quite understand the surplus, maintenance,
deficit.
And deficit. I should have done that the other way around. But I think when people think I want to lose weight, they'll sit there and they'll figure out they've probably eaten 2,200 calories a day, and like we've already said, you'll then go, oh right, 1,200, that's 1,000 calories less than I'm eating. What you want to do is you want to make little incremental changes. So if you're eating 2,200, well, then you might want to go to 2,000 calories, just like a little minute change.
Stay there for at least a week and a half.
2 weeks.
See how your body is.
Yeah, see how your body reacts to it. The other thing as well, if you're eating 2,200 calories of bad food, I mean, I don't like saying good food, bad food, because I don't.
No food is bad food. It's knowing the moderation of what you can have of each one.
But say you're eating 2,200 calories and only 15% of that is your protein. Well, if you then up that to 30% of your protein to get 2,200 calories, well, your body is going to feel completely different to what it does with 15%. So that's something. As I say, that's definitely like a rule to learn, is how much protein to eat. And most people, I think, when you start out, look more towards how much protein to intake, and the carbs and fats you'll just learn as you go along. Like, I lost a good 1.5 stone without knowing anything about what carbs or fats I was eating, but I made sure I ate my protein.
Yeah, I say to my clients, first thing you've got to look at is protein, then carbs, then fats.
Yeah, and it's the same. The other thing as well that I think people don't look at when they want to lose weight, build muscle, etc., is how much water they're drinking, or how much fluid they're drinking. Like,
you'll probably hear a lot of people say, "I'm holding a lot of water tension," whatever. That's because your body is dehydrated. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is drink more water, and then you won't hold that water tension.
Yeah.
Same with like what we said earlier. If you're eating 2 less calories, your body's going to hold on to that fat. Mm-hmm. So your body needs extra water to flush out. Like, I have 4 litres a day. Yeah,
same. I'm on 4 litres of water a day. The other thing as well is most people, when they start their weight loss journey, especially when they come into the gym and they talk to myself or they talk to Caitlin, it's like, oh, I want to have my abs showing. Well, your abs come with your diet. They don't come from crunching sit-ups. Yeah, that will help and it will build the muscle underneath the body fat. But if you're not eating right to lose that body fat, well, you could sit there and do hundreds a day, and if you're too fat, it won't show.
Another thing you got to remember with abs or whatever, it's genetics as well. So someone's abs might pop more than another's. Mm-hmm. Both your diets might be on point. You might have similar training or whatever, But it's partly genetics as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like when people turn around, I've had it before where people turn around and go, I want to have an 8-pack. You genetically might never be able to achieve that. Never ever be able to achieve that. I could be training someone who's the exact same height as me, age as me, weight as me. We could eat the exact same diet, but if his genetics are better than mine, I suppose, he could be showing abs at 20% body fat, and I need to be lower than that, or vice versa. So, again, if you haven't got your diet on point, well, then none of these dreams of abs and none of these dreams of massive muscles, losing the gut, none of that's going to come true if you don't have your calories and your food intake on point.
I think another thing you've got to also remember is age.
Yeah.
If you've, like with females, if you've had kids, whatever, that all plays a part. Like nobody is unachievable. Like if you set your mind to it, you can achieve what you want to achieve. But it could take you longer depending on little factors, like you've had 2 kids, whereas that person you're looking across at the gym who you want to look like might have not had any kids.
And that's the other thing as well, like with that front, like I've got twin daughters, so when they were first born, I was living off like 2-3 hours sleep a night. Well,
sleep is important.
Sleep is so important because you burn more calories at rest. So when Caitlin's saying someone who could be the exact same age as Caitlin has had a kid and she hasn't, and that person who's the same age as Caitlin's only getting 3 hours sleep, eating the same diet and has the exact same macro split as Caitlin, well, Caitlin's body will look better because she's able to rest. So that's another thing. Sleep is definitely something that you need to take into account.
And with the rest, you've got to make sure you have rest days.
Yes.
You're not training 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You're training. I have 2 rest days a week, maximum 5 weight training. Then rest days, they could be active rest days depending on your goal. But you don't want to be weight training 7 days a week.
No, because and even with that, if you are weight training 7 days a week, you got, like, I would never suggest that. I'm with Caitlin, like I have 2 rest days a week. But if you're not doing the right form with them exercises, again, you're not going to shape your body like you want to shape your body. So
your rest is where your body repairs and your muscles actually build, because when they repair, that's when they build.
Yeah.
They join back together different.
Yeah.
Basically.
So,
science.
Science, exactly. Just, but like, yeah, as I say, like it's just something we thought we'd touch on because obviously I want to do some content for YouTube, and we thought we were talking about food, so we thought let's record a video. But yeah, I as I say, nutrition wise, and the other thing as well, don't be scared to have a cheat meal once a week, but that's where you have to kind of have a bit of control. Like you need to literally sit there and go, right, my cheat meal is whatever day, and that is your one meal.
Don't have like the whole day.
Yeah, don't sit there and go Monday to Friday and eat like.
Or another thing people need to be careful with, eating good Monday to Friday.
That's what, yeah.
And then Saturday or Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday, they just go out, have takeaways, drink loads. You can go out like you can go out on a Saturday, have a few drinks and stuff, but that's another thing you got to remember. Calories are in alcohol, calories are in tea, coffee, sauces. That's one thing that people don't realise.
Yeah.
Your sauces on your meals. If you're squirting loads of sauces, that's another like 100 calories.
Yeah, when you go to a kebab shop after your night out and you order your like chicken sheesh and chips or whatever you order, and they're like, oh, chili sauce boss, and you go, yeah, and they literally just ladle a big dollop of chili sauce. Well, that's just calories. It's more calories. And the other thing as well, if you're good that Monday to Friday and then a Saturday and Sunday you binge eat, you drink, etc., well then your maintenance,
it counteracts because you don't actually end up being in a deficit.
Yeah.
Because it all spreads out across the week, so you're not in a deficit anymore. Because say you're eating 2,200 Monday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday you're eating like 3,200.
Yeah.
You're not in a deficit because that ends up spreading out.
Yeah. So again, be aware of that. You need to have a bit of self-control when it comes to that, definitely. What else really needs covering? Cardio is another thing as well, right? People will sit there and go, I'm doing cardio to burn fat again.
They'll be like, I'm doing this to burn the meal that I ate last night.
Yeah. Work. cool. Yeah, so never sort of do cardio to counteract the bad meal you've had. Again, like...
If you've eaten that meal, you've eaten that meal. There's nothing you can technically do.
Yeah.
You don't force yourself to go, right, I've got to now go do 2 hours of cardio.
Yeah.
Because I ate a takeaway last night.
The other thing as well, a lot of the machines that you'll go on to burn the calories, like, they're not completely accurate. So what it's telling you you've burnt and what you've actually burnt could be two completely different figures. So yeah, to sit there and go, right, oh, I had a takeaway last night, or I went out for a meal last night and had a bottle of wine or whatever, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to come in and I'm going to go on a treadmill and I'm not going to stop until I've burnt 1,000 calories on the treadmill. Well, that's going to take a hell of a long time to do that anyway.
That's ends up being an unhealthy relationship with food and like mentally as well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing as well. Like the reason I don't personally like stuff like Slimming World or like Herbalife, Weight Watchers, Slim Fast is because they do give you an unhealthy relationship with food. They turning around and saying that a food is a sin automatically puts into your brain that there's foods that's bad and there's foods that not. Look at like having a chocolate bar isn't a sin. It's just something that you want to have.
Your body knows things as sugar. It doesn't know it as a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, sugar.
Yeah. Your body doesn't take that chocolate bar and go, right, let's go and eat hips. Like, it doesn't know that. Like, and...
That's another thing, like, when people say they want to lose body fat or whatever, sadly, you can't spot reduce where your body fat is. Yeah.
That's a common one I get is like, oh, I want to lose my body fat off my arms. Well, genetically, so like, I've lost a lot of weight in the past 12 months, and the first place my weight went from was my legs. Like, other people could lose it straight from their belly first. And that's, you know, that's just genetics. Again, that's just genetics that do that. I just happen to be the person where my body fat goes straight to my stomach first. That's the first place it goes to. But yeah, as Caitlin says, you don't eat food and your food's like, oh, okay, well, that, like, you've eaten a chocolate bar. Like, your body doesn't know what you've eaten. It just knows it, as fat, as carbohydrate, as protein. It's just energy levels, exactly that. And the other thing as well, with calorie deficits and very low calorie intake, you can make yourself very ill and you can end up giving yourself eating disorders. It's very easy to get eating disorders these days. I don't think it's talked about enough in the sense that, if you are living a diet or you're living a life where you're constantly depriving yourself of food and...
For me, I wouldn't call it a diet.
Yeah.
I prefer to say a lifestyle.
Yeah.
This is what I'm eating to fit my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Whether it's, so I'm in a gain phase right now, so I'm eating more calories to fit what I want to do.
Lucky.
But I'm not. Whereas John's in a deficit at the moment because he wants to lose some body fat.
Mm.
But if you say the word diet, people automatically think salads or just juices or whatever, and it's like, no. If John wanted, he could still eat some chocolate. Mm-hmm. He would just have to watch how much he eats.
And I do, just like, so you know that, I do as well. Like, yeah.
It's a bit like in my diet at the moment, I'm allowed 2 squares of chocolate a day.
Mm. Like, on my days, on my plan currently, when I do a shoulder day or a leg day, I'm allowed a cookie.
Same. When I do a leg day, I'm allowed a cookie after my...
Yeah, but it's there having the discipline to turn around and go, I'm just going to have one. Like, that's the hardest thing, I think, for people. Mm. But that's kind of like the situation you face. When you decide you want to come to a gym and start making yourself better and you start making better choices, well, then you need to, as Caitlin says, don't call it a diet. Look at it as a food plan. Look at it as a way to plan your food around your life. And...
I think that comes from like prepping as well. Like a lot of people struggle to prep, but if you prep your food for like a few days, you know what you're eating. You just need to sort out the times. Yeah. And your body will get used to you eating at them times and eating that certain food. Mm. And you can change it up with seasoning, what, like, it doesn't have to be boring.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, you can look on certain sites and it gives you food prep ideas as well. Like, My Protein's a good one. Like, that gives you lots of different recipes, but you just got to make sure it fits your macros, essentially, which is your protein, fats, and carbs. But like, the last thing to really say is never put yourself in a situation where food is making you depressed. Like, the thought of, if you have a meal then it's too much, or never sort of get to a point where you're chasing eating them calories as well. Like, I'm going to be going into a bulk in the next month, and I know I'm going to be eating a lot of food because I want to start lifting a lot of weight, etc., and I want to start shaping my body. But I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm like, shit, I need to eat. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that. You've got to have like a healthy balance. Not everyone's going to be like me and Caitlin and eat 5 meals a day plus like a few snacks, which is mad. You think, like, how many meals a day would you say you have? 6,
I eat 7 times a day.
7 times a day, right? We eat 7 times a day. Now, people will be like, that's loads, but it's not, because it's calorie dense foods.
Yeah, they're not massive meals, but they fit our macros.
Yeah.
But it's having the 5 main meals and then pre and post food, so 7 times a day, stops us from snacking.
Yes.
Which is where I think some people struggle. They'll have like 3, or some people have 2 because they miss out breakfast. Do not miss out breakfast.
Yeah.
Don't miss out breakfast. But people have people have like 3 meals, but then they would snack loads. But their snacks would be like the quick sugar, quick grab, like go to Tesco.
Go and buy Alpen bars, or like brunch bars or something like that, because they're skinny whips, because they're less calories. But yeah, like, you actually, as I say, like, I think hiring someone as a personal trainer is an absolute godsend. Like, it's not just because I do it as a living. I've got my own coach myself. Caitlin's got her own coach, because it gives someone else some accountability. You've got someone else to have accountability for you, and
we're all human, and it's okay to ask someone to help you.
Yeah, and it gets to a point as well where you might need that help, and sitting there and going on the internet and going, oh, keto diet, that's like popular at the moment. Would you actually understand keto before you try that? Or are you going to end up relapsing? Same with intermittent fasting, same with Slimming World, same with Weight Watchers. Like, they're all structured for a quick fix, whereas what you really want is, you want a long-term solution to your nutrition, to your lifestyle, to all of it. And you're not going to get a quick fix when it comes to nutrition.
I think that's one thing that everyone thinks generally with training, is they go, okay, I've got 3 weeks or whatever to lose 5 kg or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, well, that's not actually going to happen.
Yeah.
You might see that online, but online you don't realise how much them people actually don't do. They just look like that naturally.
The other thing as well, angles of pictures can be really deceiving. Like,
100%.
I put a picture up on Instagram yesterday of a picture that I'd done for my last check-in, and a picture of me up in our studio with really good lighting, and the one in the studio with really good lighting makes me look a lot skinnier than what I actually was in the check-in picture. That's just how deceiving that can be. And be careful with the influencers telling you to try this, that and the other, because they're probably not doing it themselves. There's the sad fact. What you're best off doing is, when you go to a gym, if you're a certain weight, don't sit there and, so let's just say stone. So say for myself, for example, when I started, I was 17 stone. There's no point in me turning around and going, in 3 months I want to be 12 stone. It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. Turn around and say, I want to lose a stone in a month.
Either that,
2 months or 3 months. Like, set yourself the short-term goal and then work towards the long-term goal.
Or what I do with my clients is, I say, work towards feeling better in yourself.
Yeah.
So don't go weigh yourself every day, whatever. If you feel good in your body than you did last week, you're making progress.
Exactly. And the other thing as well, scales can be deceiving. Not the number on the scales doesn't necessarily tell you the story. For example, I've lost 0.5 kilo in the last week because I'm in a deficit. The 0.5 kilo before that, my body looks so much different from that 0.5 kilo to that one, whereas the one from this one to where I am now, didn't notice much difference. So even though I've lost 0.5 kilo, the actual look didn't change much. there can be people who sit there and go, oh, I've only lost like £2 this week. £2 is £2, but at the same time, if you're not weighing yourself at the right time, if you're not weighing yourself at the same time each day, the scales aren't going to give you the
I think
full
another
story.
thing you've got to remember as well, muscle weight and fat weight are different.
Yeah.
So if you're losing weight but doing weight training and stuff,
Mm.
your weight on the scale might actually go up.
Yeah.
And that's because it's muscle weight, not because you're not losing weight.
Yeah.
Because you're training in a different way that you were.
Yeah. So, as I say, there's lots of factors to go in. By all means, like when you go to a gym, whatever gym that is, go talk to a personal trainer, get some advice, maybe hire them, whatever. Like, get an idea of what to do, because if you come in and try and wing it, then you're not going to reach your goals. You're probably going to end up giving up, and then you'll go backwards. And the whole reason you come to the gym in the first place, or you've decided to do this change, is because you're not happy about who you're looking at in the mirror. So get some accountability, whether that be from yourself or be from someone else to take that accountability from you, but can guide you. Because that's all we do. Like personally, like myself as a personal trainer, is I'm guiding someone to make themselves look better. To the point that essentially I might even make myself redundant with them, because they're like, do you know what? I now know all of this stuff. I don't actually need you anymore, and you've helped me, but I've helped them on that first step. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do. So as I say, when you first start the gym, make sure you're checking your nutrition out. So yeah.
And I'd say as you walk into the gym, do it for yourself. Don't go, I'm doing this because I want to look like that person that I've seen online.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to look like that person. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
Like I've got a twin sister. I look completely different to her. We're identical, but our bodies are completely different.
Yeah.
So do it for yourself. Don't go, I'm going to do it because I want to look like that.
Yeah, and don't do it just to look a certain way. Do it to make yourself feel better. Like that's it. Right, I'm going to wrap the video up there, because I've only got 2 minutes left of space on my phone now, and we've been rambling on for nearly half hour. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will see you later.